Hi everyone, my name is Aurelia. You are at Style and Lipstick. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be on this look, on how to go from this to this. With the summer coming around, weddings are going to be happening, graduation parties, all kinds of fun events will be taking place. And I thought I would share with you some of my tips and tricks for how I go glam for those types of occasions. I don't have them often, but they do come up here and there. And so I always love getting all gussied up so that I can go out. Also, I would do this for a date night, truth be told. I don't have to reserve it just for an event. I would do it if we were going out for, you know, dinner and drinks. I hope that you find this video helpful. If you are interested in seeing how I came about this look, then keep watching. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Welcome to my naked face. When I'm getting ready to go out for an event, for a nice dinner, for, you know, whatever, I always like to do a few things in advance of the event. I've talked about my 7 days of masking thing that I did for my blog, and one of the outcomes was that my skin just looked amazing. And so now anytime I have to go to an event or anytime I'm doing something special, I will, a few days before that, start doing a mask. Doesn't matter what kind of mask, you you decide what your skin needs and just mask a few days. You know, 7 days is ideal because the outcome is just so nice. But you know, even just 3 or 4 days ahead of time, your skin is really going to show the benefit of having that really concentrated skincare that you get from masking. That's one of the things that I do to prepare kind of in advance of my event. As far as going from this to what's going to happen at the end of this video, one of the things that I do to start out is I will use my Juvelips lip plumping device. I have a video out talking about this device. If you want to watch that video, I will have it linked in the cards up above. But I use this little device because it helps to plump my lips up. When I come back from doing this, you're going to see that my lips are going to be really, really chubby. But that goes away within 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But I like the lasting effect. It just gives my lips a little extra oomph. So let me go ahead and get started with this, and I will be right back. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to prime my face for foundation, although I am not going to put my face makeup on just yet. I want to do my eyes first. That way I can clean up any mess if there's any fallout or anything like that, and get that, you know, squared away first. Oh, by the way, today I am using my Rimmel Stay Matte Primer, not my usual Urban Decay Optical Illusion, because for an event, the last thing I want is for my oils to start peeking through. And while the foundation that I'm going to be using is pretty good at keeping that in check, this is just like an extra safeguard that I take. I'm going to start by prepping my eyes, and I'm going to go in with my LA Girl Pro Conceal and cancel out some of this discoloration that I have. My dark circles, they are improving, but I am a little bit dehydrated, so they're not all that great. And this does not act as primer though. I would always recommend that you use an actual eyeshadow primer, because that's really going to help your eyeshadows to stick to your eyelids and stay put, and you know, not crease or any of that stuff. You know, you will have a really good, nice, strong eye look. I'm going to use my Milani eyeshadow primer. I like this well enough. It's not my favorite. I much prefer the Urban Decay, but this is what I have on hand. All right, so today I'm going to go in using my Pat McGrath Bronze Ambition palette and my Urban Decay Naked Petite Heat palette. And what I love about this eyeshadow palette is, I mean, you've got just beautiful warm neutrals, and when it comes for a glam look, I much prefer doing something that's a little more neutral, because that will give me the flexibility to do whatever I want to on my lips, whether I want to do a nude, a bold, whatever. You know, you have those options available to you. Out with Hot Spell from the Naked Petite Heat, and I'm going to put that down as my initial transition shade. And I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury blender brush. This is my go-to. I like getting dressed up. I don't have a lot of occasion to get dressed up, But you know, sometimes you create your own occasion. If we decide to go out for a date or something like that, you know, I will glam up. And a lot of times I will go super bold on the eyes, but lately I have taken a different approach to my makeup. And I've decided that less is more, because as we get older, it gets a little bit more difficult to carry off like a super dramatic look. A lot of times what I've noticed, at any rate, when I've done it in the past, is I look older when I do that. And I don't want to look older. What I want to do is I want to look glamorous. I'm not necessarily chasing youth, but I am chasing glamour. All right, so I'm using my favorite crease brush. This is my domed crease brush from Sonia Kashuk. It's the number 116. I don't think she makes this anymore, but any kind of small domed crease brush will work. And I am going in with this shade right here, this little matte brown. I love this brown. It is one of the prettiest brown eyeshadows that I own. And what I'm doing is I am going in deeper into the crease with this, to deepen things up. And I am flicking this out a little bit. I'm being pretty messy just because I know I'm going to come back in and clean up with concealer. And it's really not all that hard to go glam. Usually what I do is I will just take my usual eyeshadow look and I will recreate it, but with a little bit more intensity. But as you can see, I am flicking the eyeshadow out because I do want a little bit of that cat eye effect, and I'm focusing a little bit of the eyeshadow right here in the outer corner. And I think I'm actually going to bring this eyeshadow down into the outer corner. And again, you see how I'm just flicking out because I'm going at an angle. I think that I am going to go in with, I think I want to use this brown, this bronzy kind of shadow right here, this little guy. I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk shader brush, and it is the number 103. Again, I don't think she makes this anymore, but any kind of fluffy shader brush that you have. And I'm going to grab some of that bronze, and I'm just going to place it on my lid. This is a little bit darker than normal, but I really, really like this bronze look. And I really think I want to go in a bronzy direction today. The reason that I always tend to do my eyeshadow the way that I do, by the way, is that I feel that it is the most flattering for my eye shape. Now, a halo eye might be a good alternative. I'm not that into halo eyes. I will do them from time to time just to change things up, but that's not really my cup of tea. All right, next I'm going in with a pointed crease brush. This one is from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to be going into this dark brown shade right here. And I'm going to be concentrating this eyeshadow on the outer corner. Now, if you're using this palette, you need to be careful because this eyeshadow has a lot of fallout. If you don't have the Pat McGrath Bronze Ambition palette, another really good one to try is the Lorac Pro 1. That one is a really beautiful eyeshadow palette that has got some really great eyeshadows. They blend beautifully. They're soft. The shimmers are beautiful. So you have that as an option. All right, now I am placing that brown shadow down, and I'm doing exactly the same thing that I did in the outer corner. I'm going in at an angle, and I am just pulling that in. And you can take this out this way, but I really just kind of like this effect right here because it really helps to emphasize the cat eye that I'm trying to achieve. And just like that. Don't worry, we're gonna do some blending here in just a second. I start from about right here and I pull it in. I go about 1/3 of the way in. And you see how you've created a really nice cat eye right there. All right, now I know I look like a hot mess because I have not done any blending at all. So I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm gonna blending brush, and I'm gonna start kind of blending that down. and just softly blending that. I could also easily use my Rockstar detailed blending brush. Where are you, little Rockstar? I could always use my Luxie 237, which is this tiny little blending brush, to do the same thing. Actually, I think I'm gonna stick with this one to kind of blend that out and smudge it out. And then I'm going to take some of this, Hot Spell, and just use that also to blend. And then back to my Luxie brush to kind of blend things out. I got a little crazy with this one. Then I'm going to go back in with this brown shade here, and with very little on the brush, we're going to reinforce that shadow that's in the crease and help blend out this tail end over here a little bit. Next, I'm going to take my MAC 224 and I'm going to go in with Vibrate, right? And I'm going to soften all of this out using that shadow to blend. Just doing a little bit of touch up. Now for the liner. You know, when I go glam is one of those occasions when I will do a winged liner. I am going to go with black today. Sometimes I go with brown, but today I do want to do black. And I'm going to be using my Maybelline Curvitude liner. One of the biggest reasons I'm using black is that I am going to be wearing a pretty intense pair of lashes. But I'm only doing a small wing. I'm not going to do a big drawn out wing, only because it's not so flattering on my slightly hooded eyes. So this one is going to be a baby wing. As you can see right there, it's literally tiny. The one thing I will say about this liner is that it does emphasize the texture of my eyelid, but there is a way to get around that. I am going to be wearing lashes, so part of that is going to be covered, but part of it won't. And that's okay. I don't mind having kind of a messy wing, because I am going to come in and do a little bit more work on it. I'm going to jump to another palette, and I apologize for having to jump around. I'm going to go into my Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette, and I'm taking this black eyeshadow right here, and I am using my small little detailed smudger brush. This little guy right here, another Sonia Kashuk, sorry, but any kind of small detail brush will do. And I am taking and dipping into that black shadow, tapping off the excess, and then tapping the shadow onto the liner. And what you're doing essentially is you're locking in that liner, and two, you are giving it a really smudgy, smoky look. And this will help to mattify the liner. And that's kind of what I want. I want something that's a little bit smoked out. And like I said, black is pretty intense. You can use brown if you want to. You don't have to use the black. But I just want to get something really smudgy, really smoky, but without being too much. And we're going to kind of blend this black into that deep brown, because we're kind of following that cat eye shape. And then going to repeat on the other side. I try my best not to pull on my eye, but don't worry if things get a little messy on the outer corner over here, because you're going to be cleaning that up here in just a minute with concealer. That does it for the eyes. Let's go ahead and let me do a little bit of cleanup here, and we're gonna do the rest of the face. Well, that doesn't completely do it for the eyes. Let me take that back. I still have a few more steps to go. All right, now for foundation, I'm gonna go in with my favorite event foundation, just because this photographs beautifully. And while I like my two L'Oreal, my Infallible Pro Glow and Infallible Pro Matte, I really like this one a little bit better for an event. just because I know for sure it's going to photograph really, really well. And just using my not Real Techniques, my Eco Tool sponge, and giving it a couple of pumps. And you've seen me do my foundation a gazillion times, so I'm just going to zip right through this. For concealer, because this is an event or this is special occasion makeup, I am going to use my Tarte Shape Tape and my Bare Minerals Bare Skin Complete Coverage Serum Concealer. I mix these two because the Tarte Shape Tape is very drying on my under eyes, and the Bare Minerals Bare Skin is very hydrating for my under eyes. So mixing the two gives me the best of both worlds. And again, because this is special occasion or event makeup, I want to make sure that I look as flawless as possible. And a little bit of the Tarte Shape Tape goes a long way. There's no need to smear it all over your under eye. Same holds true with the Bare Skin. It's got pretty decent coverage, and it is very, very hydrating. So we're going to end up with a really nice under eye. That's what I like about this sponge, because it has that flat side right there. It makes it really easy for me to get in and do what I need to do and, you know, clean up my eyeshadow. And if you accidentally, you know, get a little crazy, and like I did right here, I've got a little bit of that concealer there, you can go in and do repair work afterward. And I think I need to, because I think I need to sharpen up the wings a little bit. And I take my time doing this because I want to make sure that everything is really well blended. I don't do this next step always, only when I am getting ready for an occasion, and that is brighten up all the high spots on my face. I am going to go in with the MAC Prep and Prime highlighter, and I'm in Bright Forecast. I kept calling it Light Boost in my favorites videos, but it's not. It's Light Boost is actually one of the shades. But anyway, what I do is I take this brightening product and I just place it on the high points of my face. And this is an old school YouTube product. It used to be everywhere on YouTube. Everybody was using it, and then it kind of fell off the radar. I'm going to be using the Becca Hydra Mist powder. This stuff is so cool. It feels like you're putting a little bit of water on your face. It's really, really interesting the way it feels. All right, I'm gonna go in with my Morphe G8 and do my under eyes. Let's do our repair work just really briefly. I'm not even gonna dip this into product. I'm just gonna take whatever's left on it and I'm just gonna flick that. And this is not one of those instances where you're gonna get a super precise wing. You're just not. And that's okay, because I want something smudgy and smoky, if smudgy is even a word. Okay, so now I'm gonna just repeat some of what I did up here on my lower lid. I'm actually going to start out with the brown shade in the Bronze Ambition palette, and just taking my little dirty shader brush here. This is a Morphe S28, and it's just a small little smudger brush. And I'm just gonna take that and place that on my lower lid. Then I'm going to go in with a small little fluffy brush. This is a Morphe S20, and I'm going to take Heat Spell, this little guy right here, and I'm going to place that underneath just to kind of smudge that out and smoke it out a little bit. Then I am going to take that small little detail brush and very, very carefully apply some of this black eyeshadow. Just very gently tapping that on, I guess about halfway across. I don't want a lot of this on there. I just want to give the lower lash line a little bit of definition. And we want to connect it to the wing as well, so that we have one line. Then I'm gonna take my finger, my pinky, and just gently smudge that. And I'm using my pinky because this is gonna offer me the most control. I wanna go in and tone that down just a touch. So I'm gonna take my smudger brush again, and I'm gonna take this brown shadow. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I lost a little insert. I'm just gonna smudge. I'm being very deliberate, very slow with this because I don't want any fallout coming down onto my lower lid because I've already done my concealer and powdered it and all that jazz, and I don't wanna have to redo it. So we're going in very, very gently and taking care of these steps. I'm going to go ahead and once again go into the Petite Heat, and I'm going to use Vibrate with my 237, my Luxie 237, and I'm just going to kind of go in and softly blend things out. Okay, and that way you have just enough smoke on the under eyes to kind of balance the eye out. Okay, so now come brows. Using my Benefit Precisely My Brow. You've seen me do my brows a few times. I am going to fast forward it, so be right back. All right, so eyes are pretty much done, except I need to clean this brow up real quick. Sorry guys. So now time for the brow bone highlight. Just gonna use a small little brush here, and I'm gonna go in with Petite Heat again, and I'm gonna use this shadow right here. This is called Inhale. All right, I'm gonna add some mascara, and then I will do my lashes. I'm going to be right back. Okay, so next I'm gonna go ahead and tightline. You don't want necessarily that fleshy part to show, and I'm actually going to be using my Curvitude liner to do this. And the reason being is because I want precision and I want this to last. I don't want it to transfer. If you don't feel comfortable using a liquid liner, you know, a pen liner like this, then by all means use a pencil. So the reason that I don't want to have any black liner transferring down is because this look is pretty intense already, and the black liner will only make my eyes look smaller, and because I've got such big lashes and everything, I don't want that to happen. You can use a nude liner if you want to. I think I'm actually going to use a metallic liner. My favorite is the ColourPop cream gel liner in Get Paid, and it is just a really pretty bright kind of rose gold shade, but it looks peachy. It looks a little bit peach on the lash line, and so I'm going to use it to kind of help brighten. It's not a nude. It's got a little bit more something to it, and that's why I like it. And I think it looks really good with this eye look. Let me zoom in so that you can see. And just to give it a little more brightness, what I let it do is I let it set, and then I go in with the second coat. All right, so that takes care of the eyes. Now let's move on to face. I'm gonna go in with my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow, and I am going to apply some bronzer contour. I'm not going to contour heavily, but I do like to contour some. I mean, I don't like doing like a really super strong contour, but I do like to define my cheeks a little bit because they're so chubby. I kind of need it. And then I'm also going to contour a little bit, or bronze up here, just a touch, not a lot, just to bring a little bit of definition, especially here. I think in a glam situation, usually I'll go for something a little bit glowy as far as like my cheeks are concerned. So this is when I turn to my tried and true Clinique Cheek Pops. This is in Peach Pop, and I love it. And what I like about this blush is that it just is a no fail. It goes on beautifully. It looks like you're kind of glowing from within, but it doesn't add any kind of shimmer or anything like that. It just has this beautiful, I don't know, this really pretty formula of luminosity without having to resort to shiny or shimmery. This is my most favorite blush. I wore this on my wedding day, And I love it. I think it's just, it gives you the most beautiful natural flush to your cheeks that it just looks like it's coming from inside of you. All right, next is highlight, and I am going to go to my Holy Grail highlighter. And if you don't know who that is and you've been watching my channel for a while, you've not been paying attention. If you're new, it is the Anastasia and Amrezy highlighter. Oh, I love this highlighter so much. I'm going to start out with this small little highlight brush. This is a Morphe M510. And I'm going to do the first application, or the initial application, with this brush. Because this is glam after all, so you have to kind of really shine, literally. And you do it in a C, so that it can catch the light right there. I don't take my highlighter down onto my cheek because I think that just, it doesn't look very attractive to me. I'm gonna buff that out just a touch, and using a fluffier brush, going in and just kind of in circular motions and just buff it out. I forgot to contour my nose. Let's do that. I usually go in and I tap it out with my beauty blender just in case I went a little ham. And that way that will tone it down, but it will still leave that shadow there. Then I'm gonna go in with this smaller little brush and use my highlighter. And I like to apply my highlight in two spots. I apply my highlight right here on the bridge of my nose because this is where the light naturally catches. And I will buff that in right there. And then I'll just do a quick sweep and then the tip of my nose. And the reason that I buff my highlighter is because it has pearls in it, and this will help to shine those little pearls up. Next is the inner corner highlight. I'm going to use my trusty Ofra Rodeo Drive highlighter. This stuff is so beautiful. You know, I could have used this as highlight too, but it's pretty intense as a highlighter. I'm not discouraging you from using it. I've used it before in the past myself, but it is intense. It's not for the faint of heart. And it does have a lot of glitter, so it could feasibly emphasize texture. I think I'm feeling it today though. I think I'm gonna add some of this to my cheeks. And you wanna make sure that you have that inner corner highlight, especially with, you know, with a deeper eye look. With any eye look, it doesn't really matter, I don't think, because doing the inner corner highlight, that brightens up your eyes. You know, it brightens up that corner and just really opens the eyes up. Makes you look awake. I'm going to use a small brush that I used for my nose, and I'm going to go in with the Ofra highlighter and just right here at the top of my cheekbones. Just going to place some of that there. Not to worry, I am going to buff this in. I'm just setting it down right there at the top. That takes it to a whole nother level. Then with my buffing brush, I'm going to go in and just buff that in. And who says you can't glow to the gods when you're over the age of 40? Not I. And as long as you buff that sucker in, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Yes. Yes. Love it. Love it! My camera decided to poop itself while I was setting my brows. So I've gone ahead and set my brows. I used my Maybelline Brow Precise volumizer, fiber volumizer. And next comes lips. With this type of look, you could do any kind of lip that you want because you've gone with neutral shades. It is a little bit intense, so if you don't want to do a bright, bold lip, that's fine. I, myself, don't mind doing a bright, bold lip. You can do red, you can do pink, you can do anything. I'm thinking about this, maybe this raspberry shade, but actually no, I think I'm gonna stick with the classic. I'm gonna go with red. And always with red, lip liner. And I'm using the Rimmel London Exaggerate Full Color Lip Liner. This is in Red Diva. Okay, and because I'm not wearing a matte liquid lip with this look, I am actually going to be using a traditional lipstick. I'm going to go ahead and fill my lips in because this will help increase the longevity of the lip color. I am going to go in with a lipstick. I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury Matte Revolution lipstick in Red Carpet Red. And because I've opted for a red lip, I'm not going to do any gloss because I've got a lot going on my eyes. So I want to keep things kind of matte. And that way I know that this lipstick isn't going to get everywhere. If you feel like you need to, you can go in with concealer and clean up around the lip line. I'm pretty happy with how it looks, so I'm not going to worry about that. I want to put on some setting spray. I'm going to start out with my Milani Make It Last setting spray, and what this does essentially is it's going to fix the makeup onto my face. That way if I do any dancing, any kind of anything where I'm perspiring, then this will help keep everything locked in. If you don't have this one, if you've got the Urban Decay All Nighter, that's another really good one. You know, any kind of spray that is going to actually set and lock your makeup in. MAC Fix Plus is only going to settle all the powders down. This can do the same thing, but it also has the benefit of locking your makeup in. Then, because I want to gild the lily, I'm going to also use this Cover FX Illuminating Setting Spray. And with this setting spray, you have to give it a really good shake so that you mix all the glitters and you don't end up with really big glittery spots. And what this does essentially is it's got illumination, it's got some very, very fine glitters, and it will give you just a really pretty glow. It is a very fine mist, but it is really, really pretty. The effect that it has is stunning. You just have this really nice luminosity. The Make It Last helped all of the powders to blend together. So now you look really nice and seamless, and you're ready for a fun night out. So there you have it. From zero to glam, this is what I do when I've got to go out to an event or something like that. This is the makeup that I wear. It's a lot of steps. It does take time. Glamming up is not a, you know, quick thing. It takes time because you've got to make sure that you've completed each step and that you have exactly what you were looking for. I was looking for a warm bronze look so that I could wear any color lip. And so here we are. I really hope that this helps you to kind of figure out what you want to do for a glam look. Any bronze eyeshadow palette will do to get you this look. Any neutral eyeshadow palette will do to get you this look. Honestly, you don't need to use a high-end palette like I used. Anything will do this. Any kind of beautiful red lip. Maybelline makes a few really great red lipsticks. You know, you can find these makeup items at the drugstore as well to achieve this look. I really like it. I am ready to go out to have breakfast, at the local bar and diner. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you are not subscribed and you enjoy content from the perspective of an over 40 beauty lover, then hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my content. Also hit the notification bell. That way you are always notified when I have new content out and it doesn't get lost in your feed. Follow me on social media. I do have my social media handles and links listed in the description bar down below. Let me know what you guys do to glam up. I'm really, really curious to know what steps you guys take in order to go from drab to fab, and the products that you use, because I'm always on the lookout for new products. So I guess that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.